Hello my gorgeous plant people, welcome back to Reading Mindfully. My name is Yana, and today I just wanted to talk about perfectionism in the plant community and why it doesn't exist, so stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to start off this video by asking any of you guys if you've ever compared your plant collection to someone else's, maybe a friend, a YouTuber, an Instagrammer. Have you ever just felt anxiety over your plant collection? Has your plant collection stressed you out or caused you to lose any sleep? And why did it make you feel that way? Because for a lot of us, we started collecting plants because we found plants interesting. We found collecting plants to be therapeutic and, relaxing. It helped us with our anxiety. It helped us through a stressful time. And it seems like now for a lot of people lately that plant collecting has become more stressful. It has made a lot of us anxious. And it is even put a lot of burden on some of us, even though it wasn't intentional. And so I want to make this video just to bring ourselves back to a place where plant collecting can be fun and relaxing, can be therapeutic, and it won't be such a burden on our mental health and on our wallets. And so I just want to start off this video by saying that it's taken a long time for me, a couple of years, to get to the place where I am now. I started my plant journey in 2018, and when I started my plant journey, I didn't do nearly any research, if any research at all. I started off watching YouTubers who back in the day, I watched Harley G, Nick Pileggi, I watched Crazy Plant Guy, and other people like that, and that's what really started my plant journey. Now, I started my plant journey with fiddle leaf figs, Diffuser, and Calathea white fusion with no research, and those plants didn't do well, to be frank. And that was because, like I said, I didn't do research. I didn't have the conditions for those plants. I didn't even know how to take care of those plants, and because I didn't know how to take care of those plants, plant collecting was really put on the back burner while I, looked into other hobbies, whether it was crafts, fitness, or things like that. And it wasn't until 2019 when I came back to plant collecting, more actively. I still had plants during that time, but I started actively plant collecting again in 2019. And that's when I started collecting philodendrons. I collected anthuriums, hoyas, peperomias, I had syndapses. Really, I was all over the place. And again, my plant collection, it looked okay. It didn't look what it looks like now. And I lost a ton of plants, and that's because, again, I didn't do the research. I didn't know how to take care of certain plants. I didn't know how to take care of a multitude of plants. And so fast forward today, my plant collection looks the best that I think that it's looked in a long time. I have a lot of plants that are different variety of plants. I now own snake plants, ferns, philodendrons, monsteras, syndapsis. I own a ton of different varieties of plants, and while my plant, in my opinion, looks the best that it has in a long time, in amount of years, I still get crispy leaves, I still get brown edges, I still get brown tips, I get shriveled up leaves, I get yellow leaves, and I show you guys what my plant collection looks like in real time. I'm not afraid to show you that I have Mars on my leaves, that I have scars on my leaves, that I have crispy edges. And I showed you guys this in my winter plant tour. I showed you what was really going on because I wanted to be transparent and I wanted to be upfront, and I wanted to let people know that even though my plant collection looks good, I still struggle with certain plants. I still struggle with plants in certain times of the year, and especially with how last year went, I struggled a little bit mentally, and I did lose a few plants but I was able to bounce my collection back. I was able to bounce back. And so I just want to make this video because nothing is ever perfect in your plant collection, and nothing's ever perfect in your plant journey. You're always going to have something going on in your journey. It's never going to be perfect. That's what a journey is. There's always ups and downs in a journey, whether it's directly because of your plant collection or if it's because of something personal or outside factors. There's always something that's going on. It's the same as in nature. There's always something going on in nature where if it's a natural disaster or if it's animals and people chopping down plants, running through the forest and stepping on plants, whether it's harsh winds, it's, a lot of sun. Plants are always being knocked down, crushed, marred, stepped on. It's always something, but they always find a way to come back more beautiful, more resilient than ever. That's the best part of nature, is that nature is resilient, and even though it has periods of time where it could die or wither, it always comes back bigger and better than ever. And I wanted to make this video and put this message out there because I feel like a lot of people feel like their plant collection always has to be perfect. They always have to have, no green. Everything has to be green and lush. There can be nothing crispy or browning. And this is very detrimental to our mental health. This is detrimental to the plant community. It's not very honest and upfront because a lot of newer people, newer plant parents are coming in and they're thinking that this is what your plant collection is supposed to look like. There's nothing ever supposed to go wrong. And it's not true because there's always something that's going on. That you're not going to always have the perfect conditions. You might not have the perfect lighting. We're always looking to see how we can grow plants in the best possible light. And while people are searching for perfectionism, I am really happy that a lot of more YouTubers are coming out and making videos on plants that they're struggling with, because we all need to normalize the fact that you're going to have brown tips, you're going to have brown edges, you're going to have plant infestations. You could have a humidity issue and it could, crisp up everything in existence. But if we normalize these things and we show you that, hey, while my plant collection is looking pretty great, there are some things that are taking my plants out. Maybe I lost 20 plants, maybe I lost 10 plants, maybe I lost 5 plants. And while when I went through my funk last year, I lost about 3 plants during my funk. I did try to keep up on my plant collection as best as I could, but there was a week or so where I just couldn't take care of my plants. I just had to put them on the back burner. But as you can see, my plants are still looking pretty great to me. I think they're perfect in my eyes, but there's no such thing as perfectionism. We don't have to go out of our way to make sure that our plants look perfect. I am seeing that there are a lot of people making YouTube videos where if there is a brown tip or a brown edge, they are cutting the entire leaf off, and they are encouraging other people to cut the entire leaf off. And when in actuality, if there is 50% or more of the leaf, if it's still green, you should really leave that leaf on the plant, because that plant can still photosynthesize. It can still use that energy from that leaf to grow better and bigger. And so in my very collection, I do have crispy edges and tips that I still leave on the plants, because those leaves can still photosynthesize. They can still help my plant to grow bigger and better. And so if you cut those leaves off entirely, you are reducing the amount of energy that your plant can have. You're cutting off more leaves so your plants won't look as lush. So I tend to leave those leaves off, leave those leaves still on the plant. And if you really don't like the look of those leaves, You can cut them off if it really does bother you, but what you can also do instead, which might be better, is just to trim the leaf, so that way you're just trimming the edges off of those plants, and then you just want to leave the green parts intact. You don't want to cut into the green, because if you cut into the green, then you're causing a new wound on the plant, and so that plant will have to go ahead and focus on healing that wound and trying to grow at the same time. So you just want to cut off the parts that are, browning and don't look as nice, so that way you can still keep the other portions on the plant, so that that plant can do what it needs to do to grow bigger and better. And I think that's why my plant collection tends to do well, is because I don't cut off everything that doesn't look great, and it still helps the plant to strive and do what it needs to do. Now, like I said, my plant collection, I've been collecting since 2018, and it's taken me a long time to get to this stage. My plant collection is still not perfect, but it is perfect in my eyes. And just because someone says that, oh, your plants are really struggling, that doesn't make me feel bad about my plant collection. And I wouldn't take that comment and internalize it, because I know that my plant collection looks a lot better to me, and it's taken me a long time to get to this stage. So I just wanted to make this video because I've been seeing a lot of comments on people's videos, especially one in particular where I was watching a YouTuber, and the comment said that she was doing well, her plants looked well, but if she did this one thing, her plant collection would look perfect. And I don't think we should say these kind of things to people, because honestly, we see our plant collections every day. We know what these plants look like. We don't need someone to point out, the flaws in our plant collection, because honestly, we know where our crispy bits are. We know what plants are hidden in the corner because we're ashamed of them. We don't need people pointing it out. What we do need is people to inspire us, to encourage us to do better. And so that way we keep the positivity and the lightness in the community, that we keep the anxiety low, the pressure low. So that way we can keep this hobby being therapeutic and relaxing. And so I think that we need to extend ourselves and each other more grace, so that way we can continue to be a thriving and positive plant community, and just understand the fact that perfectionism doesn't exist in plant community. It doesn't exist in life. If we strive for perfectionism, we're always going to be striving for something that doesn't exist, and we're going to burn ourselves out. And that's when things that you enjoy doing is no longer enjoyable. So with that, I just wanted to leave you guys with that note. And if you guys have any comments, or if you ever felt like you needed to be perfect in your plant collection, that your plants have needed to be perfect, please leave a comment in the comment section. I'm really curious to know. But as always, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching my videos, liking and subscribing. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content, and hit the notification bell so that way you'll see me in the next video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.